Alright, good morning, Wednesday the 14th of May. Just in the hot rod shop, do a quick walkthrough. Not much has changed from yesterday. We have the Apache over here. Bernard is just doing some wiring on the headlights. You say it's got like halo lights or something they wanted wired?
Yep.
So that's like a daytime running light then? Oh, cool. So yeah, just doing a little bit of that wiring. I think it just needs a little bit more detail work and then that's pretty much done. Falcon, we got the Dakota Digital done, but somehow we ended up with the wrong backlight. It's blue instead of white, so we have a white backlit cage cluster on its way now. So I'm not sure what got crossed in the part numbers there, but other than that, it's done. So unfortunately, we gotta wait a week or so for the other cluster to get here. Over here, we got one of our returning customers. He gets a lot of detail work done here. Bob Furlot's car somehow curbed a wheel. I think somebody, bike rider or runner or somebody got in his way and he just turned into a curb. So got the wheel off so we can fix up the wheel. We fixed one up for him before, get that painted up. So that's what that's in here for. Clint's over here working on the, what is this, an 85, right?
85.
Yeah, 85 Chevy, wiring in some halo style headlights the customer wanted. Yeah, it's one of those things you almost need to do all LEDs or no LEDs, right? So, but yeah, so just working on some wiring on that and a little bit more on the Buick here. Just getting some more panels made up. Was waiting on some material for some cooler seats. You got your material in? Making some seats to kind of replicate that seat, just like a purchased generic boat seat, making some cushions to go on top of these big Yetis. So that's what he's working on there, so you can see it kind of matches the seat there. So that's getting done over here. The other way, here's the other cooler, two of them getting seat cushions. Corbin's working away at the Lincoln today. You get a better view of it now, all cut out from underneath. The chassis below it. So yeah, see it's all braced up. And got rid of everything we don't need. I think it's last week's video you seen him welding up these seams here to give a nice inner rocker structure. So yeah, all gutted so we can put all the good stuff in. There'll be more to see on this shortly. All right, just made our way down to detail. The girls are training today. So not going to get in their way too much. We'll take a look at what's going on here. So yeah, got the boat picked up yesterday. Looks like the girls had a chance this morning before training started to give it a quick wash, which is nice. I'll be getting this out of here for most of the summer here. Probably leave tomorrow with it. Be clean. It was looking pretty gross from being in storage. So I could start putting some of my stuff back in it here and get it off their floor. I got my Bronco over here. Gonna do some PPF on the front of that as well. So when I tow it behind the truck, it doesn't get chipped up. We plan to eventually do a full matte finish PPF, but the girls want to get a bit more experience before doing a full vehicle. That's what they're training on right now. So got my sister-in-law's car in here for some training. It's a new car she just got, which is the bigger Mazda. So they're training on that today and then as well on the Bronco. They're almost done the flat toe stuff. So there's like the disconnect switch up front here. Most of the rest of it's under the hood, so not much really to see. Like I said, bit of a training day. We'll leave them be. Quick walk through the auto shop. A few new cars around today. Camaro's just maybe going for a road test. Z06 in here. We did an engine on this a couple of years ago. Can't remember what it was that it's in for now, but anyway, it's in for some concerns that we got to take care of. I seen the radiator is back again for this late yesterday, I believe. Where did I see that? It's over by the door. So the radiator guy has redone that again, so it should fit now. So we should be able to put that back in today and get that car back together. The Cadillac, like I said yesterday, they were doing something with the door poppers, but they got the hood open now, so let's take a look. I don't know if we've seen under the hood. Small block Chevy. Is this one of our employees' cars? Yeah. Kylie's car? I thought so. I seen the sticker on the back window. Just getting an oil change or something?
Yeah, just a service.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, music's playing now, so let's continue our walk through out back here, see what's hanging out. Volkswagen Jetta, not sure what that's here for. Something to do with turbo, I think. A Thunderbird out back. Beaumont, we should have the carburetor here today for the Beaumont. I think the Mercedes just needs some quoting on paint and auto body. Lineup of cars out back here are all waiting for either parts or techs. I think the axle's here for the trailer, or gonna be here today, and we're still waiting on some insurance stuff with the red trailer door flying off on the highway. So yeah, lots of little things on the go around here to deal with. Looks like we're getting things organized though, and get some of these cars out of the shop this week. Good morning. It's Thursday, May 15th. Just heading to storage to grab the truck and camper. Getting ready for a long weekend is definitely a lot different when you're doing daily vlogs. Took a little bit to get ready this morning. Got a bunch of stuff here in the back of the truck. Starlink is supposed to arrive today. I can't do all the video uploads that I plan to be doing to clouds and stuff for Leah to get to in time with cellular. Tried that. It really made for a real pain coming across California and back to Canada, where my phone wasn't updating, and we were using, at that time we were using Apple iCloud for most of our clouding, and it would just be a problem. I had six terabyte iCloud, and even with my 512 phone, I'd run out of storage. It seems that no matter how much you subscribe for with Apple Cloud, it still relies heavily on your phone's storage. So knowing that, my next phone will definitely be a terabyte, but for now, I started using GoPro Cloud. So all the GoPro footage is clouded for free, and then I pay a little extra for a subscription. It's not a lot, and then you can have up to 500 gigs of other footage. So we've been using that, and that's been working well. But anyway, so with Starlink, that should help a lot. So hopefully that arrives before I need to get out of here today. So for now, I need to get to storage, trade out this shop truck for the truck and camper. I need to load up all my kokanee and trout fishing gear, since that's what we'll be doing this weekend, and get to the shop. And I have some work to do to the boat, as I need to gear it up to charge GoPros as using them, and stuff like that. It's somewhat going to be a dry run of what I'm going to want the boat set up like for when I'm doing the ocean trip this summer, because then I'll be gone for about 10 days and want to be able to keep up with you guys as well. So yeah, so for now, just going to get to storage, get all this stuff loaded into the other truck, and get my kokanee gear loaded and get on the way. I need the downriggers and kokanee rods, kokanee net. Usually I'd have the boat here to load the stuff right into the boat, but today we're gonna have to do it a little different and just probably have to, I don't want to take these all down, so I'll probably put them in the camper. So yeah, I got these bags. So that's salmon gear. We don't need that. There should be a bag that size here somewhere. That is my kokanee gear. There's extra water with me. Get that up in the camper. Showing the stuff I brought from last weekend, and this is definitely stuff's a game changer. Without this, it's really hard to get kokanee. It's fire corn. This is the Lazy Man way out, if you can find it. I've been using this pink stuff. People that are diehard into kokanee fishing, they make their own. I've done that a bit. But you gotta get like a US shoe pig corn, which is hard to get here in Canada. Yes, that's my kokanee trout bag. So that, on the rods and the net, pretty much has a set, other than the downriggers. And I believe I'm short on downrigger clips for the lake size clips, like that's a salmon. So I do need to go through my stuff and maybe stop on the way in and hopefully find somewhere that'll have downrigger clips in stock. I've been meaning to get down here and organize all this stuff so I'm not screwing around every time I go, but this is unfortunately what's happening today is I'm not prepared. So you guys get to watch me screw around. Just don't know what I have new in here.
on the boat. They'll show this here that I want to bring the kokanee. I don't think I really grabbed any kokanee gear this year. It's all salmon stuff, so I'll come to that later for salmon. Yeah, so okay, downriggers. Normally these go right onto the boat, but like I said, the boat's up here.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna bring this to 100 mile as well. We could get the firewood and stuff. All right. I believe I've got everything I need from storage for the weekend. Alright, we're almost ready to get out of here. The cap for this. See you at the shop. Alright, I was definitely off by a few feet. That's pretty hard when the camera's way up there. Everyone does this. When they move the boat with a frickin' forklift, they always drop the foot way too frickin' low, so I'm not gonna be able to lower it down onto this hitch. See what I can do. Might luck out. It's looking pretty close for height, so maybe it'll work out. I'm just gonna back up. Distance is dead on, but I'm off by about 4 inches that way. If I'm lucky, the tires will have some again. Not gonna happen. Long hitch, so I can crank the steering and sometimes the swing. Close, but not enough. Steering low, we're good. Yeah, with the 3 foot or 4 foot extension, it has so much leverage that it just turning the steering will move the ball. Yep. Just because the boat's uphill so high at the back. I got my deep freeze here from my fishing trip from last year, so I'm going to take some lingcod with me, some salmon. Is that the camper? Okay, that's everything out of there, I believe. Now I just got to put it in place in the boat. First off, stuff all these life jackets back in the bow where they belong and get all dirty and gross every year. The backdrop I'll put on before we hit the road, but I got work to do, so I usually scroll down on our YouTube channel to the bottom of the page. You'll see affiliated channels, and you'll see my other channels, and I can't remember if it's on the Stone Speed Shop channel or the Fishing with Dennis, but we had the big floods here a few years ago, and I and a few other guys were running people that were stranded from Hope to Chilliwack and back and forth. I ended up with 2 life jackets from somebody that I rescued or saved, and they were supposed to come get them, and they never did, so got a couple extras because of that. If you look on that channel, you'll see, and I think there was a bear that was trying to cross in the floodwaters, and I felt that it wasn't going to make it with the current and everything, so I scared it back to shore the opposite way. Hopefully I saved it. Let's get these seat backs back in place. That's for the other side. Okay, now to figure out this stuff. So as you've seen in the last video with the boat involved, we got these containers. Usually what I do is the port side of the boat is the non-used common stuff. Starboard side under the seat is all the fishing gear that I'm currently using. This stuff always goes under here. So this is tools, spare boat stuff. My hope is I can fit them in this way. Oh, that's amazing. What I'm running into is the bolts here that cause a hiccup for how far it can go. It
could turn those screws around because it wouldn't matter if the nuts were on the back side. But already, as you can see, that isn't moving anywhere, and we're not crushing it with the seat. Super stoked about that. And then these ones as well will be in here. And I remember testing, and it looked like they, yeah, same height stack. Oh, the stackable ones, the shape allows it to clear the bolts. Good to know. So the smaller stackable ones might be a better option. So now I know, but look how organized that is. Super cool. That seems to fit with the bolts on that one, so I'm not sure. Love it. That is awesome. Lots of time on the lake to do organizing. Okay, so that's everything out of the hot rod or detail shop. Let's see what I got in the truck and camper to put in here. I'm not going to do that yet because I'm going to be parking this out on the road. Let's leave the boat empty-ish. Thursday morning update in the hot rod shop. Got this convertible vet in here for some assembly. What's happening with the Lincoln today? Looks like he's getting it temporarily mounted to the chassis so we can move it around and get a better idea how things are going to come together, which is cool. I don't see Corbin here, so he may be sick today. Maybe he's just out getting material. I don't know. I'm just assuming. I would think he's here because I don't think he had all this done yesterday. So he's probably just gone to get some materials. But yeah, coming together. We've decided at that placement for the wheel. Again, these wheels aren't staying on this car. This is just what the chassis had. So now we know how much we need to lengthen the forelink in the rear. And yeah, just getting ride heights figured out. We want to get that body as low as we can on the chassis, but we also don't want the engine sticking out of the hood. We want to get that engine back as far as we can, just in case we want to twin turbo this one day. Who knows where we'll end up with near the end of this. So it's a chance that it'll get more work in the future. See Lyle's in the Buick McLaughlin. Oh, he's got the boat seats done here. Yeah, building it like they were built back in the day with some wood, hey?
This is the step up from what it used to be.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
This is the next level.
Yeah. Nice. Cool, coming together.
Yeah, it'll be 4 inches there, 4 inches of foam.
Yeah.
All basket weave the center, so you got a little
Cushion, yeah.
spring. Yeah.
Nice.
It's weird though, none of the old frames have any, like it has mounting points and stuff, but there's zero indication of how these were all held in. Like they just,
Oh, really?
Like, I don't know, they must have just used the upholstery or something. Or,
Oh, maybe, yeah, and those were just like lock-in points versus attachment points.
like,
Yeah.
But anyways, I'll use them.
Yeah. There's got these little jump seats that are kind of neat. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Lots of fun. It's coming together. Good morning.
Hey man, how you doing?
Good, you? What you working on today?
Put these needles in this.
Oh, yeah. Well, that looks like fun. Looks like it's stuck at 100 anyway, or is it other way?
Oh, the speedo cable needs to be replaced.
Well, that wouldn't matter, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess. Well, it looks like it could be pointing at 0 too, if the needle overhangs. Oh yeah, they do overhang, so it is pointing the right way. It's just broken off flush here. See what I mean? Yeah. So it's the right way. It's pointing at 0. Yeah.
Anything else?
Fun. Cool.
When are you heading out?
This afternoon, I'm waiting for my Starlink to come, and I got to wire in some USB-Cs into the boat so I can keep things charged while I'm fishing. So, no, just going 100 mile this weekend, do some kokanee fishing. There's a derby on Horse Lake this weekend, so Jeep's back up in here. You're going to do some mechanical work to the underside of it, so yeah, good. Over in the body shop, we got Ferd's been doing some initial body work to the Fair Lady. So he's been doing that kind of between whatever he's got to do on the boat. The boat, he's just polishing up some transition lines this morning, and then this afternoon it's going to head over to get glass over at Tom Thompson's Auto Glass. So he's just working away in there. Everything's kind of covered up, so no point in really getting in his way right now. So that's about it over at the hot rod shop. Just got to get the license plate I borrowed from here the other day and forgot at storage and drop it off in the office. All right, just up in my office, and my new business cards came in. So we've updated our cards from the old ones. I'll show you an old one here. This is the new one. There's the old one.
There's the new one, but the cool thing is on the back, it's also our YouTube card. And that has our link tree, so that gets you a link to our everything, all our Instagrams, Facebook, website, and of course YouTube. So super cool. So that's the new card, the old card. What did we have on the back? Just a Camaro picture of the front of the shop. So new cards are here, super cool. All right, just down at the auto shop in the boat. Got the USB-C ports here that I bought. Just gotta figure out where I'm gonna put them. I bought 2 of them. So, kinda wanna keep them dry. I got these little setups. So it's 2 USB-Cs with 3.0. So I think it's 60 watts, 30 per, I believe. And the reason I like these ones is we'll see how long they last, but they have a power button. So in a boat, you don't want to leave things on all the time, of course, when you're not using it. So having that power button, I think, is going to help. My only concern is that do they time out and turn off on their own or something stupid where I want it to keep charging the GoPros while we're filming, right? So, because I plan to have a couple of the GoPros going while we're fishing and the 360 camera as well. Yeah, so that's my hope with these. So I'm going to take a look and see if maybe in the glove box, oops, sorry, dropped your sound. Maybe in the glove box here. So it's a bit of a mess right now in here. But my thoughts are, in the back here I have a lighter port that I've always used. And I always just got to push it in to get it to turn on, but the battery's turned off right now. So I'm going to take a look underneath the dash and see if I can mount these USB-C ports up higher so I'm not fighting with the little tray that I put in here to hold the stuff. So I'm just going to crawl under the dash there and take a look. I was thinking like one on either side of the stereo here as well as an option. I just don't know. Yeah, if it's flush, I should be able to put the cord in and then still close the glove box. So the cord's technically, yeah, like this. It would be, actually it would be even recessed further in than that because it would be like that. So, and then the glove box is actually up to the face here. So you know what, I really like this spot and this spot. So I'm going to take a look from behind because these are set up to have a rectangular stereo. So there's a breakout right here. So I don't want to get it to a point where I drill this and all of a sudden it just all falls apart. So I'll take a look from the back side. So that would be optimal. I'll have one on either side there. It won't take up any space right at the front. And then things that are charging that are in here not being used will fit down in this little cubby hole here. So anyway, it's just going to crawl under the dash and see if there's any reason I can't do that from behind. Anyway, I got the drill and I've drilled the holes. So the idea is there'll be one of these on either side of the stereo. This does fit, believe me, I just drilled it. But the carpet is a little big, so let's see. Well, maybe that side needs wrong. But this side definitely fits. So I just gotta get the nut on the back side of that, and then oh yeah, this carpet was just in the way here. So I'll get the carpet moved and grab the other one here. All right, got the other one here. I think I got the carpet out. There we go. Carpet is in the way, so there we go. So yeah, so I think that looks pretty good. I didn't measure, so hopefully they're not too off. But until they're tight, won't really know for sure. But it's in the glove box. Who cares if it's off a bit? We're at about 11:30 this morning now, and I just looked, and according to tracking, my Starlink is in Chilliwack on the truck, so hopefully I get it here soon. I'm gonna crawl under the dash here, get these tightened up, and look at where I'm gonna wire these two. Starlink has arrived, so I'm going to load up and get the heck out of here. I always wrap my downrigger cord underneath and then hit power to hold it so they don't flop around on the highway. Okay. And they just replaced the steering cable and throttle cables and stuff in the boat. And I guess the one of the plugs must have fallen out and he put it back together wrong. So when I give it power, it puts cable out instead of in. A little fun fact about this boat was when I worked at River City Marine, this was the last boat I rigged up before I quit and moved on to here. It was the owner John's demo boat,
And then I ended up buying it like a year later. So I actually installed these originally. Actually, no, I did not. He didn't have downriggers on it. I installed everything for sturgeon fishing. So now I hit the button, should go. Alright. I might have shorted it and blew the fuse, man. So now I need to be careful because of what happened, and the cable has now overlapped itself, and if I let this out with a 15-pound ball on it, it's going to destroy itself. So really I need a hand here, but we'll see where I need to go. When that cable gets loose like that, it'll get under itself and break real easy. So yeah, lucky I mount these like this. I do this so if I didn't, these could hop around on the highway. So I do this. And that holds it in place. So if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have known that they hooked it up backwards and we'd have problems when I go to the lake. So anyway, I think that's about it for videoing this crap. I'm gonna put a couple things away and we'll get on the highway. Okay, I got a couple things to grab out of my office, otherwise I'm ready to hit the highway. I'm just gonna do our walkthrough at the hot rod shop, or sorry, automotive shop, Fix Auto. Just picked that up from a wheel alignment. We do a lot of wheel alignments for them. Their shop is like right across the street. In-tank fuel pump went on this. So it could be what was partially wrong with why his high pressure pump went out on him, but not entirely sure. But his high pressure pump was also leaking fuel into the engine. He needed that. And then he drove it for a little bit and then it quit. And then his high pressure pump in the tank quit. But anyway, it's all cleaned up and ready to go. He should be picking it up today. So let's walk into the shop here, see what's happening. So first bay, Ashley's almost done the Bronco. They had it at detail. I don't know if you can see it. We did temporary matte protection film here. So there you go. You see how it goes from shiny to matte. The lighting isn't the greatest, but just to protect the kicks for now. With they gave us a little bit to test. We tested it on the blue one as well. But anyway, eventually the whole Bronco is going to be that matte finish. And Ashley's just finishing up the brake install. So underneath here, I'm not sure the light. There you go. That's the actuator that pushes on the brake pedal. And then there's another part in the back there, that white-looking thing in the video, which is a sensor for the whole braking system. And then it's all wired for the lights. And that's what Ashley's working on right now. It's a 6-way plug that will connect from the truck to the Bronco. And then other than that, we have the adapters to hook into the factory tow point. And then there's the box under the hood that runs the whole braking system. And then there should be a 2-inch lift showing up any time now. It should lift it a couple more inches anyway is the plan. And the tires and wheels, so looking forward to that. And then in the near future, we'll get the girls to do full matte wrap on that. Over here we have the LaSalle. Dave was working on it this morning. Not sure what he's working on it, but that's up in the air, working on it. And the other day I was wrong. The radiator hadn't been picked up for the red car. It was still sitting off. I think it's picked up now. And this Corvette that's been around for a while, we were waiting for a wiper switch forever, and I think the wiper switch came. The wiper switch finally came for this.
We did the wiper switch a little bit ago.
Yeah.
But the actual wiper motor assembly was also bad. So the wiper switch wouldn't work unless you put it in a specific spot.
Yeah, but
then we replaced the wiper switch, and nothing would work until you got it to high.
Yeah.
And then it'd work down from there, like
weird.
delay.
Yeah. So the diode or whatever in the motor.
There's an old TSB from the 90s.
Oh, really?
For these things, for a warranty on those
motors.
That very part.
Oh, wow.
So
well, he's got both new parts, and now it all works.
Works pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
That's all right.
Awesome. Well, you can see the dust wiped off the windshield. So, and then this one was in potentially like a head gasket that's turned or something, overheating. I'm not sure if you know anything about it.
I don't know much about it.
Okay. Well, maybe Dave's working on it. I think this is a friend of a friend. There's a radiator cap here, so maybe that's what's happening. I'm not sure. Did we get a diagnosis on the Jeep? Yeah, well, it was overheating, right? It was overheating?
It was overheating, and the rad cap was all swollen up.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's weird. So I thought it wasn't bypassing. Topped it up. Everything was working good, except it didn't suck back from the bottle.
Oh.
And so it talks about micro leak. I had to put this thing on the pressure tester for 2.5 hours before I finally got a leak.
Oh, okay.
It's coming from the crossover pipe with the thermostat housing and also the water pump as well.
Oh, okay. So front of the engine has to come apart.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That, and then also needs a serpentine built because it's all cracked up.
yeah.
Yeah.
So some maintenance, really.
Yeah.
Can I just borrow you to show you something on the Bronco where I put that connector?
Sure.
When you have a second?
Yeah, I'll come right now. Yeah. Yeah. There's never been anything good I've ever heard about the 6 cylinders in those Jeeps. So
So the connector for it is here.
yeah.
So then what you do is we'll just have this popped in,
Yeah.
pops in, and then has just 4 little pop.
Okay.
These little pop ones, just a trim tool needs, and then they'll just be in there.
Yeah.
So it looks factory every day.
Other than that, yeah.
Yeah, other than that, which is just a factory bolt. So if you want it hidden, me and Jim were already talking about, we could unbolt it and then just like zip tie it up higher if you're not.
Oh
gonna
yeah,
use
yeah,
it.
yeah. For the
So
off season or something.
Yeah, so then you don't have to have everything out, but then that's just hidden. So
Nice.
that's all you'll have to do when you go to use it.
And they made was this how that came with it? Short like that? So
Yeah.
you just add another one to it?
There is a red one
Lead that clicks on it.
clicks
Okay.
into it.
And then that's not going to undo itself in there?
No, the washer makes it so it spins and it's
Oh,
tight.
okay. Perfect.
And then I'm just going to take it off and paint it. I just wanted to make sure it
Yeah.
was going to work first.
Perfect. Looks good.
So that, I just wanted to show you.
Yeah,
what it
no,
was,
that'll be great because
Yeah.
it's not like it's every day. So
No, exactly, right?
perfect. Looking good. Navigation set up for Caribou Bonanza. I got my Starlink. I got the boat all set up, ready to go fishing for kokanee. Navigation says I'm going to be there for like 6:35, so it should give me a couple hours of daylight. There is a derby going on there. I'm not sure the whole schedule for that. I'll figure that out when I get there. But if there's nothing going on tomorrow, I might come back to get the Bronco. The Bronco is minutes away from being ready to flat tow. So depending on how I feel on doing another round trip tomorrow, I might come back and then I'd have the Bronco so I don't have to move the truck and camper around if I want to go anywhere, which is the whole reason for that scenario. The only problem with that scenario is then I would be leaving the Bronco there next week when I come back. No, I wouldn't have to leave the Bronco. I could bring it because I can tow it. So yeah, so I might go pick it up. It's just that next week I need the truck and camper again because I'm going to do a trip to trail to pick up a customer vehicle. So my thoughts were, I'll leave the Bronco there and I'll be driving the truck and camper back. But no, I can tow both back. I bring the Bronco and the camper and truck back, do the trail trip, and then who knows when I'll be going back to 100 Mile again. So it makes sense to bring the Bronco back. When we do go to 100 Mile again, then I tow the Bronco back. The whole reason for having it set up for vehicle towing. So anyway, babbling on for no reason. It's 2:30 in the afternoon. Just about to eat my lunch as we get on the highway here, break my fast and get going. So for now, just going to shut down the camera, and as soon as I get out of this traffic and get onto the highway, I'll set up a time lapse and we'll see how the weather is and how the road is, whether I want to do any videoing on the way through the canyon. There is some construction going on, which will be interesting, so I'll probably break on and off of time lapse and catch some of that on the way. But otherwise, yeah, we will see you on the way there or when I get there. Okay, pause the time lapse to throw the cameras on here. So this is the remaining repair that they need to do from the floods from 2 or 3 years ago, where the highways got washed out and it was closed between Hope and Chilliwack for a week or so. So there used to be, I want to say it was an underpass. So yeah, I believe it was an underpass. We went under the tracks at this location, and for the last few years we've had to go over the train tracks, so you'd have to stop and wait for the train sometimes. And it looks that what they're doing is they're building an overpass to fix this situation. So before it was pretty nasty. You come down the hill and it was like a hard left under the train, like under a train bridge, and then up again, where it looks like the way they're building this should be a fairly gradual ascend over top of the tracks, as they're just building that up, and then I'm sure they're just going to build it up the hill a ways, which they're actually going to take out this steep section of highway, from what I can see, depending on how steep it is coming down the other end of this bridge. But yeah, so anyway, this is the last repair that I know of from this this flood season thing that we happened there a few years ago. This looks like it's probably a couple of years away from completion, but I don't know, sometimes they get this stuff done quick. So yeah, that's that, the Fraser Canyon rebuild. And I seen a sign, I think they close it down overnight between 12 a.m. and 4 a.m. for full road closures right now. So I guess they're doing that maybe to try and get things done a little quicker. But anyway, that's about that. So I'll stop boring you with this information, and I will just get back to the drive and get some time lapse going. At Caribou Bonanza. So this will be our third season here. Didn't get out here much last year. Was really busy with the shop and Leah's wedding. Didn't leave a lot of weekends with our ocean trip in August as well. So, and we had a family reunion last year just down the road from here. So that really took from here. I think maybe I spent a couple nights here last year. And those were really, I think, just to get the camper up here in May, and then to take it to the campground for the family reunion, and then back. So yeah, anyway, we love it here. This place is amazing, people are amazing. So yeah, I didn't even get up here to really kind of winterize my spot last year. Hopefully everything's okay. Really all I would have had to do was I have a pole to put up on the gazebo to hold weight, snow weight, but I don't think there was much snow weight, so it'll be a pretty busy weekend with the long weekend and whatnot. Already quite a few people here for a Thursday, so I usually have to ditch my boat off up here in the grass and then set up camp, and then they can put the boat in the water for me tomorrow. Looks like everything has survived. That's our spot right there with the gazebo. All right, get the boat unhooked. All right, boat is off. Now let's go down and get into the camp spot. How's it going? What's happening? I think I've already been here more this year than last year, and I just got here. I didn't expect you here till tomorrow. So normally I take this off, and I don't know how well this spot is gonna work just backed into with the truck, like how much work is gonna be involved in leveling. So kind of gonna be new. So hopefully it's a level spot. It's just I don't know how unlevel it's gonna be as per left on the truck. So I'm hoping if anything I just gotta let air out of the airbags or something. So we'll see. Let's get back in most of the way. I see the bugs aren't great. They're loaded up around the window right now. So yeah. Remember, the deck is built to lower the camper down, so I'm hoping, anyway, hoping it'll all work out without too much screwing around. Let's see where we're at with the truck as it's off-road. Well, it says we're only 1 degree low in the front or so, so that it should be pretty damn close for just leveling with the airbags, so we'll see. So I'm gonna get out and we'll take a look. Well, at first glance everything looks good. So this down here is the base that we normally put the camper down on, but we're not gonna obviously use that this year. We might not. Like at this point I don't believe we're gonna take the camper off the truck. For now I just gotta figure out where I'm gonna want the camper. Right here looks pretty good. It looks really high in the back, so I don't think the airbags are going to let out that much, but let's take a look. I might have to drive up on the front, and then my hitch is getting close to the deck, so a couple things I got to figure out. Normally the camper is further back, so the awning and this roof next to us usually fit better, but anyway, let me get it figured out here. More screwing around than I thought. I don't know if I'm going to have to try and level this ground out more or rethink this idea, but I have it perfectly level right now, so it is doable. It's just if you look up front there, I've got a huge stack of blocks under the front axle, so I don't really like that. But what I could do is measure that and build some ramps out of wood, which would make it a lot easier. And yeah, and then I've got it set up so the hitch basically hits right there, and it should be good. So anyway, just going to grab some firewood to block the back wheels a little bit and then start setting some more stuff up here.